Hello, welcome to today's CrossPoint devotion. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope you're having a great week. Today I want to talk about deception. Have you ever been deceived? Now let's just think about some examples from your life. Maybe when you were in high school, you started dating someone and you thought that person might be a potential candidate that you could marry. Then the more you hung around them, the more you listened to what they said and the way you watched their actions, you realized that person really didn't have good character. That person was not a quality person that you would want to spend your life with. And before long, you began to feel a little bit deceived, like they had put on a show at the very beginning of the relationship, only to get you to date them, when in reality they were not a good choice from the beginning. That's what I'm talking about. Have you ever been deceived? Maybe you got into adulthood and you were ready to buy your first car. So you went out and began to look for some cars. You only had a certain amount of money. You ran into someone who was selling a car and they sold that car to you because they convinced you it was the best car. They had had it since it had come off of the new lot. They had driven it around with no problems. There were no mechanical failures. There were no issues. And then you bought it, and as soon as you drove away, you realized, uh-oh, I've got a lemon. You had been deceived. They just sold you a car because they didn't want it themselves. And you were the person who got deceived and gave away your money for a car that didn't even last but a few months. All of us have been deceived. We live in a culture right now with a lot of deception. There's this term that we use all the time right now, fake news. We don't even know if we can watch the nightly news or follow things on social media and get the truth. Our world is full of deception. Have you ever stopped to think about where all this deception has come from? It comes from one person. It's the devil. He's known as the great deceiver. In fact, it's a part of his name. He's a deceiver. He wanted to be God, and while he was in heaven as an angelic being, he tried to take God's place, and God cast him down to the earth, and now he not only hates God, he hates the ways of God and the works of God, and he does not want God's kingdom on this earth. So what does he do every single day? He sows the seeds of deception. And those seeds are even in your life. Every day Satan's trying to deceive you. He's trying to convince you that money is a better path than righteousness. He's trying to convince you that your own self-interest are better than following the interest of God. He's trying to deceive you every day into thinking that other relationships, earthly relationships with people, are more important than your relationship with God. He's trying to deceive you that you don't have enough time every day to spend time with God. He's constantly sowing seeds of deception. That brings us back to 1 John chapter 5. Why do we need to study Jesus? Why do we need to put our attention back on Jesus? Jesus has exposed Satan's deception. He is the way, and then catch this, the truth and the life. And he says no one can come to him except through the Father. Well, John, the person who wrote that in the Gospel of John, is also the person who wrote the book of 1 John. And this is what he says in chapter 3, verse 8. The one who commits sin is of the devil. For the devil has sinned from the beginning. The Son of God was revealed for this purpose. Well, what was the purpose of Jesus, according to John? To destroy the devil's works. If you want to have victory over deception, if you want to live in truth and in the real reality of what God has created us to live in, you got to know Jesus. Because Jesus has destroyed the works of Satan. He's destroyed his deception, and he's bringing us the truth. That's why I want to encourage you as much as you can, be in God's Word, because you're going to find the truth there. I want you to study the life of Jesus, because you're going to find the truth. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And I want you to know every day that truth will overcome deception, because Jesus has overcome the devil at the cross. Don't forget that. Let that be your encouragement for today. Hope you have a great day.